What's going on, folks? Painless. You can see rocking the vintage Dickie t-shirt. I still try to keep it somewhat old school. My era, the 90s. I'm going to jump right into this video. You hear about the abolishment of the police, which to me is ironic given the fact that the heavy influence in the so-called black community with police, in which normal, sane people that live within the so-called black community are totally against the abolishment of police. In fact, many victims of any type of assaults and things like this nature tend to happen amongst people who are of the same color hue, but it just so happens in the so-called black community. And this just destroys, what we hear is that, well, you mentioned black on black crime. Well, black on black crime, crime happens amongst people who tend to live with, amongst each other. You don't hear people saying Mexican on Mexican crime. You don't hear people saying white on white crime. And most homicides are of people that look like the victim. Suspect versus victim. But see, the thing is, with the Negroes, it's to a whole nother level. And I've talked about us being in the spotlight. Everyone has black folk name in their mouth. Black folks don't make it any better by doing certain things to bring attention to themselves. And I've said many times before that black folks, we suffer from a childlike state in which we loan and we need any type of attention, whether it be a negative or positive. This is just why you'll see a young 22-year-old brother. And, I've been 22, but see, this is the thing with painless. All these things that I say, all these pathologies, these are things that I've recognized. And now that I'm older and I can look back in hindsight, I can put all these things together. And I'm still learning. But a lot of these things that I would be like, why do brothers bippity-bop down the street, rapping to themselves, talking to themselves? I just never understood that. I just don't get that. Even the flashiness, that never appealed to me. But yeah, you have, a lot of proponents that say abolish the police. But no, I was watching I think it was a Snap or a TikTok video, and it was real premature, I guess you could say, in which you had a couple of up-and-coming rap guys, engage in sexual activities with a young lady that had flown there to see them. And they kicked her out. And she whipped out her phone, because it's what all these young kids do. They try to get it active. They want to whip out their phone. It's just real watered down now. Anyway, she said, well, I'm going to call the cops. And I said to myself, this is what Painless thought. I said, any type of thought that would fly to have those type of engagements with multiple men. And she had multiple classic looking thought, young. I'm just gonna be real. And I think it's safe to say that the way she was had to be a Latino or Caucasian chick, mix maybe, and the way her mannerisms were, the way she was talking ratchet, I think it's safe to say that she was probably a proponent of defunding police. But nevertheless, she got her back blown out by a couple young Negroes. And now that they put her out, now she wants to call the cops. So, all this stuff is sensationalism. All this stuff is hoopla. It's reactionary. It's very emotional. And that's the age we're living in, folks. We're living in an age of ego and emotionalism, And I am I'm not up here touting Trump or anything like that. But to me, as a man, when I hear men today say, I want Trump out, vote him out, and I'm like, for what? Like, what has Trump really done to you for you to be so upset? I look at all these Negroes, all these black folks on social media, and I'm like, what has Trump really done? Oh, he's divisiveness. How is he divisive? Ain't no more than a Hillary Clinton. Ain't no more than a George Bush and a Barack Obama. I mean, what has Trump really done that bad to you for you to feel that upset? Vote him out. And I'm not saying vote him in or keep him in, but I'm just trying to understand, what has Trump done to black folks? Charlottesville, that's what they talk about. Trump has no control over them folks. Trump, he's attempting to be a politician. He's placating to his base. And he doesn't need black folks. He doesn't need black folks. And again, I'm not promoting Trump. I'm just saying that Trump represents what men of the old used to be, what has preserved us. Not Trump himself, his mentality, the way he moves, the way he's very direct and doesn't pull any punches. And any man should like that in another man, unless you're a weak man. But a lot of men now, of course, I've said, are effeminate. A lot of men now, especially these young guys, they really lack a sense of authority, which to me is effeminate. Any man that can't respect authority that's very feminine to me. I've talked about argumentative guys. Most guys, naturally as men, we are assertive, but we understand a pecking order. Okay. What you see is a lot of men now gravitating, and they do this because of sex pandering. A lot of men will unify and spout the things that a lot of women say, or these ultra feminist and misogynist, aka men haters. They do this to show that they are supporting women's causes and sex pandering. And what you'll see is your biggest opponents, guys, that, somewhat understand what I'm saying and share the same views and beliefs as me in terms of men, your biggest opponents will not be women. It won't be women. It will be these weak, soft-muscled, soft-hand, cuckold, simp guys out here that will do anything for play or attention from women. Now, a lot of women may do listen to my channel, and you should all know that I'm all for, and even, I may be qualified myself, but I just don't want any women listeners to think that I'm some type of misogynist or a chauvinist. No, that's far from the truth. I just like to think that the women who like my content, outside of talking about gender, understand the pecking order of in and of itself, that men and women are different, and we complement one another. That's all I'm saying. But I'm pretty sure that the women that do listen to my channel do not like weak, effeminate yes men, especially for pandering. You're not going for that. I'm not going for that. That's why I speak on this, and it can directly be attributed to the lack of authority, the lack of respect for authority, hence the defunding of police. But they don't understand the implications of defunding police. And it's just a sense of just real a disconnect from reality in that of defunding police. What are you going to do? It's like a child. Oh, my parents aren't here. We can party all we want. Parents are gone. We can party. Yeah, cool. But, your parents pay for that roof over your head that you're partying at. They pay that electricity that you're using while they're gone. They give you a safety net. They provide food for you. Now, I'm not saying police do all these things, obviously. Police don't provide electricity payments, mortgage, and food payments. But they instill that your ass is safe when someone has a 40 cal snub nose pointed at your melon, ready to blow your head off for a gram of coke. That's what police do help and attribute to, that you can call. Because keep in mind, the people that need police the most are the ones that are victimized the most, which is you, the so-called African-American Negro, and the so-called black community. You're the ones being victimized the most, yet you're up here calling for defunding the police. Like a Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick does not live in your so-called community. LeBron James doesn't live in your so-called community, yet this 6'9" buck says, I'm just going to say, black people are scared. I couldn't believe he would say something like that. You would never hear Michael Jordan say nothing like that. Anyway, that's another video. GOAT. Yeah, you would. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. And, I just see things for what they are. This country, these people are mad at, any form of authority and leadership. It's like leadership is shunned. To take responsibility is shunned. To have a man tell you what to do and critique you is shunned. It's being offensive. That's what we're living in now. Emotional ego. And I'm seeing it not from kids. See, I'm seeing this from grown-ass 40-year-old plus adults. I'm even seeing this from 50 and 60-year-old adults. People that raised me. Like the age that these people are the age that raised me. Not saying that the people I know, but you would expect someone in their 50s, mid 50s, and 60s to be done with this nonsense. But yet, they've fallen into the trap of sheeple mentality, social media. You got these old folks on social media thinking it's cool, instead of looking at things for what they are. And it's really sad. It's really sad that I see a lot of old Negroes falling into this mentality. Vote him out. Get him out. And why? Because he tells shit the way it's supposed to be? It's like masculine. I've said this many a times. Masculinity is shunned. It's looked down on, especially in the so-called black community. That's why I don't play with none of these women out here. Black, white, look, I'm not no pussy panderer. I'm not going to kowtow to you. If I agree, I agree. If not, I'm going to let you know I don't agree. And a lot of women don't like that. A lot of women don't like the fact that you have your own stuff and that you don't need to say anything to get between their legs. Oh, he's a cocky son of a bitch. Oh, he thinks he's got it going on. He thinks he's different. I'm going to show him. What the fuck do you have to show me? What exactly do you have to show me? Between your legs? Stop. Just stop. You have no power here. So, but basically, yeah, men, it's becoming a test every day. Not for me, not for Painless, because I stand firm and I see the results of people who put emotion over. For men, I expect that for women, but I've seen the results and the crash and burn and the self-destructive ways of men that put emotionalism, going against their natural state, over rational reason decision making. I've seen the results. So, and when you do that, and we all are emotional. Painless, we're not robots, man. I get it. But what I'm saying is that you look at things and let the cards fall where they may. But yeah, this whole idea of defunding the police, that's a very unreasonable, very effeminate thought. Because you need protection, you need authority in some way, shape, or form. You don't just throw the whole baby out with the bathwater. And I said about police reform, kind of BS, or it would have been reformed already. I've talked about, let's put the shoe on the other foot. Decision making. Decision making is so powerful, but yet it's not talked about. It's not talked about. The media doesn't want to talk about decision making. Nobody wants you to use your rational mind and make a good decision. It goes against this whole feminist woman-led movement, inclusiveness, putting out the man. It goes against that narrative now. How dare you make good decisions? You're supposed to be a sheep. You're supposed to follow the crowd. You're not supposed to make good decisions. You're not supposed to make any decisions. Black man, you're definitely not supposed to make good decisions. And I go against that grain. I go against that. But yeah, I just want to make a quick video before I get ready for the day. Painless out.